everybody, welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Joey.
Now, you know what's interesting? Like, this is what we do. We do movies and video games and all, pop culture stuff. So it's a little telling that this movie, which I knew it existed, did not realize it came out until I actually started seeing reviews about it on YouTube. It completely just fell off my radar, which, it's not the best sign. Alright, so Jovi, alright, here's the thing. So I think it's you've probably seen reviews. This movie's not the best. I'm gonna let Jovi talk about, the plot and the pacing and the weird editing and the bad guys bad acting and weird monotone voice and all that stuff in a second. But I actually don't even want to talk about this movie right now. So give me a second. I have a bit of a rant. So give me a second. I don't know how long this is going to take.
Go for it.
But so here's the thing. When a movie is bad, like let's say the Fourth Bourne movie or Love and Thunder or Rebel Moon or Shazam 2 or something like that. Or Cats.
Oh Lord.
When it's bad, that's when I think it's a prime opportunity to go after like the directors and the writers and the actors and say like, what were you doing? This was just terrible, right? But when a movie is just blatant garbage, like this, or in my opinion, The Marvels, or that fourth Expendables movie, or Aquaman 2, that's when I think I'm going to be a little less harsh on them, because there is no way you're not going to convince me a human being watched this movie. A human being who was involved with this movie watched it and was like, oh, we have a pretty good thing here. No, I don't believe it. This was completely a studio mess up. And I think that's something that's what my rant is, because it's just, like, the difference between the bad versus this blatant garbage, right?
Trash.
Like, it's just, like, if I go to a restaurant, I have a meal, it's disgusting. I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to order this next time I come here.
Yep.
Versus, I go to a restaurant, the food's disgusting, you're giving me attitudes, you're telling me stuff's not on the menu when it is, you give me Sierra Mist when I ask for Sprite. Like, it's just all around bad experience. And that's kind of how I would sum up this difference, because it's like the studios are giving us the finger. And I'm like, well, who is this for? It can't be for us, because we don't like these movies. And I can't imagine it's for you, because you're not making money off of it. No. But maybe they're like, I know that, studios like Sony, they have to make movies in a certain time frame or else they lose rights to characters. So maybe that's what's happening. You're playing it long to make the rights, and you're like, I don't really care what this looks like, just make it happen. But when you do that, it's like you're giving us the finger. You're telling us you don't care, so why should we care?
Right.
Because going to these movies, honestly, it's not the easiest thing. Like, Jovi came. He came a little late. He had to get his family together. He came, and then you spent what, $80 today? They ain't cheap either. So why would we do all this? Like, we knew this movie wasn't gonna be good. So it's kind of our fault, like us, the consumer, because we're giving you the money, but we know it's not good. And like I said, Jovi did all this. He came to the movie. He spent all this money, and either of us, I can promise you, either of us would have had a better time just sitting at home streaming something. Streaming like Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime. And Jovi,
yes.
Right?
Yes, but cannot wait to talk about that.
Yes, but when we do that, that's when the YouTubers and the studios and the theaters come up and say, oh, the theater experience is dying. People aren't supporting us. It's all your fault. No, it's your fault.
You're making horrible movies.
You're not giving us a reason to go. Give us something to go pay for, and we will go pay for it. And that's really what I wanted to say. Like, it's not even Madam Webb's fault that this movie is this bad. It's like, so I told you I found this because I saw a review, and one of the reviews I was watching, someone mentioned how the promotion for this movie was weird because the main actress Dakota Johnson, she basically wasn't like hype when she was promoting it. She was just like, oh yeah, just go see it. And I was watching.
She was monotone the entire film.
And I went and I watched her promotion, and it's like this is somebody who knows this movie isn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
She clearly knew that her performance wasn't up to par either.
yeah, man. That's what I really wanted to say. Obviously I didn't like the film, but I think this is a much bigger issue because studio interference that gives us this crap. Like it really got to stop because I'm being honest. There's going to be Craven. I've told Jovi I don't want to watch Craven. I might give that a chance just because I'm intrigued by its rated R. It's R rating.
I do. I want to see it.
But the next time we see a movie like this, let's say Sony decides to come out with a Rhino movie starring the Rhino from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm not gonna watch it. I promise you I won't, and we'll just have to wait till it comes out on streaming.
That's a great segue to what I have to say.
Go ahead, bro. I'm done. I'm sorry.
So let's just get it off to begin with. This wasn't good, but the segue is, I thought they were gonna stick to villains. Why the hell did we get this movie?
I don't.
There's no reason. We all loved Madam Web from the 90s.
Yep.
Cool. Yes. There's not enough webs to bring her into a universe that it doesn't make sense. Sony, how can you make two amazing animated films and make these trash ass... They're getting worse.
So I'm gonna say real quick, I think that because Lord and Miller, who makes the Spider-Verse movies for Sony, I feel like they're just left alone. I feel like they're the only, real talk. They're a diamond in the rough. Every studio has this. I know you might be a bigger fan of the DCEU than I am. But there are these movies that I like, the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
I look at that and I'm like, you know what? You let James Gunn do what he wanted. And that movie was fantastic. So to answer you, I really think that the Spider-Verses are they're the exception, not the rule. I think that what you see with Morbius and The Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3 and Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and that's what you see. But
I just don't understand how they're getting worse, because Venom, Let There Be Carnage was by far one of the worst movies we saw in this small couch reviews thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
And this one, there's nothing positive that I can say. It was cut like a high schooler just learning how to edit film. There's the beginning acting. Madam Webb's mom was probably the worst actress I've seen in a very long time. And I'm going to be critical.
Yeah.
I am not an actor. I'm sorry. I do not make film either. I do edit and film things for different corporations and the people I work for. Y'all should be better at it.
I mean, you're comparing them to other people we've seen do it, so...
It can be done. But again, if you have a story that does not matter, we don't need background of Madam Web. We need older Madam Web that is controlling and helping us understand what's going on in this crazy Spider-Verse. That makes sense.
Yeah.
We didn't need to see this Madam Web and three great actresses get
chased. They were chased this whole movie. I think that's what, you know what? So we didn't actually talk about what this movie's about.
I'm sorry. I jumped into
So he's right. So this is a Madam Web origin. Yeah. Takes place in 2003. So
when Tom Holland is born, I think that's what they were trying to get at.
So
when his Spider-Man was born.
Yeah, there's a spider person who dresses like Spider-Man for some reason, who is chasing Madam Web, who can see the future.
Yes.
I'm sorry, he's not. This movie's so bad, I'm losing myself. He saw this spider person is evil.
He gets to see the future.
He saw the future. Yeah, he's cursed. Yeah. He saw the future. He saw that he dies by the hands of these three girls when they're adults. Okay?
Yes.
And by the way, these visions when they're adults are the only time we see them in costume, which I did not know. So
yeah, just to let you know.
Yeah, so you're not gonna see any spider people fighting in this movie.
No.
That's something you should know. There's no spider fights between two spider people at all. So Madam Web also sees this vision of this man killing these girls, And she's like, well, I'm not just going to let you die. So she goes and she helps them. So this entire movie is Madam Webb, these three teenagers, are running from this man who wants to kill these three teenagers so they don't kill him in the future. And that is it.
That's the plot of
That
the
is
movie.
the plot of the movie. They like literally he chases them.
That's the
they
plot
get
of
away.
the movie.
Yes,
The plot of the
Yes.
movie.
of the whole movie, and it's a rinse and repeat. You chase, they get away. They're like, "Why is this guy trying to kill us? What did we do?" They chase, they get away.
She has a vision.
Oh,
Her visions start getting
Yeah,
stronger.
oh, this guy's trying to kill us. He thinks we're gonna kill him in the future. That's crazy. We don't have any powers. They chase. They get like it just keeps happening, and
They
that's
don't
it.
even realize that they even have. I don't think they even realize by the end that they get power.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah.
They don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's no motivation for these four people to be together
Right,
for this entire film.
and they're not. I said I wasn't even going to talk about it, but I can't help it. They're not even. There's like not even chemistry between them.
No.
Like you could. They don't look like the characters. Clearly, don't like each other when they first meet. And it kind of looks like the actors don't like they don't mess with each other either. Like it looks like they film and they go home and don't talk to each other. Like it's crazy.
It just everything feels off. So now you know the plot. Let me go back to just talking about how it was done horribly.
Yeah.
The sound editing is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's many parts of this movie where they're talking, but you can tell there's a voiceover because they had to change some lines. They had to change something. They shoot somebody on the side, so you just see kind of like their mouth like this. But you know they're not saying what they're like. This happens often. The main villain, almost, I would say, a quarter of his lines are voiced over. You
Have
can
to be.
tell
Yeah.
the audio completely changes. Like you can hear your ears pop because his is completely not on the same.
Like it'd be like, let's say he's running on a building. He's talking as if he's walking in the street.
Yeah.
Like it's like you know that's not what you know that.
He snatches his mask off so often that my wife turned to me and said, "Where did his mask go?" I was like, "Oh no, he took it off."
I actually didn't. I didn't notice
he
he
does
took it
it
off.
every time. Like it's like this. Why? You're a spider person. That's part of Spider-Man universe. You keep that mask on.
I thought that
We know who he is. We know he's the bad guy. We know he's the one in the costume. Why you keep taking off your? He's not even cool.
you know.
It's like you're not even cool. Oh, and going back to what Sam said about how Madam Webb, the actress is, her name is
Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson. She does not look like she even wanted to be on set. She reads her lines like they're sitting round tabling. It's not enough. There's not enough emotion, and then it just gets super. The writing is so cheesy, and it just seems like, and it's funny because I was just like, well, maybe it was written by AI. I was like, maybe this movie was written during the strike. And they were like, "Oh, just keep some of this, and we'll get a real writer to go in and edit it." It's like cheesy lines, like, "Well, at least you didn't know that this was the day you were gonna die." What?
Yeah.
And then she finds out about her mom. My mom did this all for me.
I hated that. Yeah.
Come on. And so, I'm not even gonna go any more into this. We can talk about how Sony, why are you doing this to us? And why are you complaining that your live actions aren't selling? What are you confused about? They're not doing well because they're not good. It's just that this is by far the worst, and it's been getting bad every single since Morbius to it's just, how were you worse than Morbius?
Yeah, that's the thing that what you just said really caught me. This actually might be the worst of the live actions.
It's the worst.
As bad as Morbius was, you had the two vampires fighting.
Yeah, it had some pretty really cheesy action scenes, but I'll take that over this.
Yeah.
Literally, the end was the only real action-packed scene that we get,
Which didn't make sense.
No.
They're fighting in a Pepsi building.
Yeah.
And they beat him with fireworks. Like, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling, but you're
Yeah.
not gonna watch this. They beat him with fireworks somehow. Like it's just yeah.
Mike Epps is in it.
Oh yeah, he is in it for a little bit. Gotta get that. So, and the other thing I want to say, I actually, again, the reason I'm more so blaming the studio, like, because there are some people who have the, I guess, I don't know, I don't even know if just say clout. They have the privilege. Like, they don't need the check. So they'll be like creative differences. You hear that all the time. They'll be like, I'm not putting my name on this. I'm leaving.
Right.
So they'll leave a studio when a studio comes to them and says, oh, well, we need you to have Pepsi cans all over the place, and you need to make sure that that there's a spider person who's dressed like Spider-Man, but he can't actually be Spider-Man.
Can't be Spider-Man. He's not actually Spider-Man.
It's like, when there are certain people who are like, they have the ability to walk away and say, I can't do this. But, actors and directors and writers, they gotta eat. Now, the writers of this did write Morbius, so maybe this isn't their thing. Maybe they need to go into another line of business, but, I mean, again, the studio just, I feel like it's, there are levels of incompetence in this movie that again
they jumped the ambulance through a wall.
Oh, you know what? When that happened, it was I think it was Aisha. No, it was you. You actually laughed out loud. I don't know if you noticed this, but when they had an ambulance, it was like in Speed when the bus jumped over a ramp. They did this and tried to make it look cool
But
when an ambulance
went through a wall.
Yeah, it went through a wall.
And then the spider person didn't jump out the way.
Yeah, the spider person who has spider sense, by the way.
Yeah, it's like literally they talk about that these people from this part of Peru have spidey sense. All of them have it.
And he doesn't jump out the way.
He doesn't jump out the way and gets hit by the
ambulance hits him but hits nothing else. And all right, that's okay. So yeah, man, I this movie gets a 1 from me. It's bad. I like he's like because it's progressively worse. It's not even the movie's fault. It's just this is the first time I'm gonna say stay away. I don't even think you should watch this on streaming. I don't think you should support this at all.
It doesn't. It's a waste of your time. It does nothing for the universe. It brings nothing up. We got to see Uncle Ben young. Cool. You know what? That's a positive. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing Uncle Ben young. Cool.
Dog.
It doesn't.
Do you know I was so out of this movie waiting for it to end. I legit didn't even realize that was Uncle Ben.
It's Uncle Ben, and that's Peter at the end.
Yeah. Yes, that's why they were saying when they played the guess the name
game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. And that you're exactly right. That's why it took place in 2003.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
This has been Madam Webb Review, y'all. Let us know what you think.
It's a 1.
About.
Have we ever given anything a 1?
I don't think we've ever agreed on anything being a 1. Yeah, this is that. So stay away. But hey, let us know what you think about the review, because hopefully you didn't watch the movie. But if you did, let us know what you think. Right down there in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And until next time, we out.
Deuces.